y'all? It is episode 6 of the Sci-Fly Zone. Today, we're going to be talking about the recap of our predictions that we made on Sunday's episode in regards to Major League Baseball and the specific games and series that we were talking about. That being the Giants versus Guardians series, and the Tigers versus the Pirates series, and the Mets versus Braves series. So yeah, those were the 3 series that we were talking about. Some crazy games going on in there, and then we will also be discussing the Rafael Devers trade. Some crazy drama in there, crazy stuff. I mean, like one point that I saw, I think it was Chris Rose made about this trade. Back in the day, like if this trade were to happen, the Giants would need to give away their whole team to get someone like Rafael Devers. You know, and then Rafael Devers is going to be upset because he is now joining a team with nobody on them. But instead, the Giants just had to give away a few decent pitchers. And now he's on a team that he wants to play on. And also, the Giants have been lacking a bat like Devers. You know, like he's the first guy, I hate to be, pulling talking points off of different people, but Trevor Plouffe, he said, someone like Barry Bonds, like they haven't had someone like Barry Bonds since Barry Bonds, outside of a few good Brandon Belt years.
Yeah, they've had success obviously in the early 2010s. They had the 3 World Series every other year, but even then they didn't really have that potent offensive bat. It was mainly like Madison Bumgarner and their pitching taking them, and Matt Cain taking them through the World Series. But yeah, they haven't really had that big like Barry Bonds, David Ortiz type of hitter on their team. And they made a signing with Willy Adames in the offseason, hoping maybe he could be something like that for them. But he hasn't really been the guy that they want him to be. Obviously, he's been doing better in the last couple weeks, but yeah, this Devers is going to be a really big deal for San Francisco.
Yeah, man, and like in like you're saying about the past Giants teams, like they definitely had a lot of depth in their lineup for sure, like a lot of good content. Yeah. And like they still had a few guys, that could hit 20 plus bombs, when Melky Cabrera was having his good breakfast, or when Buster Posey was in his prime as well. He was able to hit 20 plus bombs. Who else were some big power guys in San Francisco?
Pablo Sandoval was good for them for a while.
3 homers off of Verlander, who's now Giant.
Oh yeah, wow. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Hunter Pence was good for them for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they were always more of a good all-around team rather than being
very, very small ball.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get into the trade for sure, but getting into that first game of the Giants and Guardians series, so we had the Giants taking the Guardians 2-1 in the series, and we were wrong. We were wrong. Cleveland took game 1 3-2. CJ, you want to tell us a bit about the tragic story that happened that very sad day?
Yeah, man. I mean, it was another good start for Robbie Ray for what it's worth. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, but he was just not getting the support from his offense that he needed. I mean, while collecting 10 hits as a team, they only scored 2 runs from it. They had a couple guys who did well. Yastrzemski was 3 for 4 with a double, but they could not produce with runners in scoring position in this game. That was their issue. They were 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They left 13 guys on base, and they were given plenty of opportunities to score runs, and it just didn't happen for them this time.
Yeah, the runners do need to cross home plate. That is a very very crucial part of it. The guys need to cross home plate before 3 outs are made.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that only happened twice.
Yeah.
Even though they have so many opportunities, it's unfortunate. the Guardians starting pitcher slated Ciccone. Dude, so many crazy names in here, man. I'm having so much trouble. Ciccone. He had a decent night as well, throwing 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks. So pretty decent performance, and pretty about the same performance between him and Robbie Ray. And the rest of the Guardians bullpen held it down. Clase getting the save for Cleveland, with it being his 15th save on the year. Overall, season-wise, due to his rough start that he's had to the year, he's not exactly where he wants to be. Because, he used to be a top 5 reliever in baseball. I mean, like Cy Young votes as a reliever.
He was 3rd in Cy Young last year.
Yeah. And currently, he's at a 3.82 ERA, a 1.5 WHIP, and 33 strikeouts in around 30 innings. So compared to his stats up to June 19th of last year in 2024, he had a .79 ERA and a .66 WHIP. So just to put those numbers into perspective on where he normally is as a reliever, guys are just seeing him a lot better this year for some reason. And as the season's gone on, he's definitely figured it out and become more consistent. But Cleveland right now, they are at best a wild card team right now with how successful Detroit's doing in the division. So they really need Clase to become that guy if they really want to have a chance as a wild card team, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the season he had last year was pretty unbelievable. One of the best reliever seasons maybe of all time. That's why he was 3rd in Cy Young voting. And it would maybe be a little unfair to expect him to replicate that this year, but the start that he was off to did surprise me quite a bit and frustrated me as having him on my fantasy team at the time.
Yeah.
But it was just a different story at the start of the season. You were right about him starting to settle down and get back into the groove of things. Maybe he just needs to get to that mid-season form.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's starting to put the pieces back together.
Yeah, and we hope so, because it has been a puzzling season.
Yes.
Speaking of pieces. So hopefully we can figure out that puzzle. Game 2. Again, as I said before, we were wrong. 4-2 as Cleveland takes down San Francisco again. Again, CJ. CJ is really informed about this series, so I'm gonna let him take the lead on this one.
Yeah, it was Verlander's first game back. He hasn't pitched in a month, so I know the Giants were happy to see him back on the mound. He didn't have a great start, but he didn't have a bad start. He went into the 5th. He went 4 2/3, allowing 3 runs. He did receive the loss on the game, but again, that's same kind of story with the Giants. This game they were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. So far in the series, they're 1 for 19 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah. My gosh, dude. Yeah,
and
that's frustrating. Like, to have that many guys in scoring position and then just like the momentum just dies.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes you think as a pitcher, like, okay, then my guys aren't going to give me runs. I've given up 3 runs. Am I going to get the loss for that now? It can kind of get in the pitcher's head. The Giants were on a great run the last couple weeks. For this last week, though, hasn't been the same kind of story. They've lost 4 in a row. They're 5-5 in their last 10. So, they're kind of falling behind the Dodgers a bit.
How do you feel about them pulling Verlander at just 83 pitches in the 4th?
I thought it was a little interesting. I mean, he wasn't like pitching terribly. He wasn't like getting hit around necessarily. But first game back, coming back from an injury, I could see why they might have a shorter leash.
That's a really good point, actually, considering he's coming back from an injury. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, hasn't faced professional competition in a month, so I think it's a good start, and I think they're making good steps for him to come back for them.
Yeah, 7 hits though, so he definitely needs to definitely if he's gonna be pitching to contact, trying to control where it's going to be hit a little better if he can, of course. Although, like we've said in our previous baseball episodes, you can't help but just be a victim of baseball sometimes, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. He did only walk one batter in the game, so
really good pitch control in that aspect.
Yeah, throwing a lot of strikes, but maybe a few too many strikes.
Yeah, and again, like you're saying about the offense, it just sucks because after they pulled Verlander, the bullpen held it down for the rest of the game. I mean, the bullpen got four more strikeouts and gave up no runs. I mean, they didn't even give up a hit after they pulled Verlander. 0 hits in 5 innings.
Wow. Yeah, man. That the Giants bullpen has been the Giants bullpen's been incredible this year. I mean, they didn't even use all of their main guys in this game. I know they used Doval, but they used a couple guys that don't really get as much time, and they were still able to shut it down.
Yeah, and Doval came in the 9th too, so like the game was already like fairly set by that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, Game 3 is currently happening as we are recording this. So we are going to discuss the results of that game on Sunday's episode. So definitely tune in for that. It's going to be Logan Webb versus Gavin Williams. So we hope that Logan Webb can definitely shake the momentum that the Giants are currently riding. You know, definitely set them back on a higher trajectory, especially with the Dodgers seeming to maintain the status quo for their attempt at grabbing first place.
Yeah. The pitching so far for the Giants, I mean, it's been great all season. You know, Logan Webb and Robbie Ray have been having some of the best seasons of any pitcher. It's just a matter of getting the offense going. Yeah,
and the bullpen too. Yeah,
and the bullpen. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, speaking of the Giants, made a giant trade.
Nice, good.
Intended, in receiving Rafael Devers. So I gotta say here, like one of the most drama-fueled trades in recent years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so unexpected. I mean, I thought Devers was going to be a Red Sox for at least another 3 to 5 years, personally.
Yeah, totally. It's been very dramatic for the Red Sox and for Rafael Devers. I mean, it hasn't been private matter at all. Everybody knows the issues that the Red Sox and Rafael Devers have been having. Obviously, not wanting to move from third, and then not willing to play first after Tristan Casas gets hurt when they need him there, and frustration with management. And it seems like it all just came to a head, and management just said, okay, if you're not gonna work with us, then you can go.
Yeah, and the Giants said, we'll take him.
We'll
take him.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and what's crazy is, you know, you don't have many like people like on the level of David Ortiz speaking out about your ego.
Yeah,
like David Ortiz on an Instagram live said that Devers has communication issues, and that Devers has answered him very little to, like, if at all, about him reaching out in regards to Devers and his ego and his relationship with the team and how he's handling himself in the media. So then, in response to that, Pedro Martinez came out and made a statement. And he said that anyone who is saying that Rafael Devers is a bad teammate is a liar. They don't know what they're talking about. And he wants to play. So clearly, Pedro Martinez is on the side of Devers, and which I guess if we are picking sides, he's saying this is the Red Sox fault. And he's also saying that David Ortiz is wrong for suggesting that Devers' ego had anything to do with the trade, and also called him out for saying that you shouldn't be saying these things on public radio. You know, you should be speaking to him privately about these matters. But if Devers isn't answering privately, as he said, He reached out privately and he didn't answer on multiple occasions. That's what he said. And with Ortiz being a sports media reporter with direct access and communication to Devers, and with him being an MLB veteran who primarily spent his tenure in Boston, so he knows management very well, I don't blame him for feeling confident enough to speak his opinion on Devers and how he's handled himself, considering they were both in similar positions in terms of their roles in Boston as players. But I mean, like, I see both sides. I see both sides.
Yeah, totally. There have been a lot of comparisons that people have made between Rafael Devers and David Ortiz in the past. As you said, both serving similar roles for the Red Sox. So, yeah, I was a little surprised to see David Ortiz speaking out about Devers like that. Although, after he explained why he was doing it, I could totally see why he felt like it was why that was something that he should do. He's always been like a pretty vocal guy about the things he believes.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why people love him so much. And yeah, man, it's been messy, I would say. It's been a very messy departure. I mean, even Alex Rodriguez was talking about Rafael Devers' attitude, and when Alex Rodriguez is telling you have to be more mature, then you're probably doing something a little wrong.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, Alex Rodriguez does have the advantage of retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
While Devers is currently in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is, I mean, another reason why maybe Devers should kind of digest the things that. Yeah, what'd you say?
Hear them out.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, they've been in his shoes before. They see it from a different perspective. But I mean, with Devers being like a direct part of it, obviously he's going to have a different perspective on it, and he's going to feel like, I don't know if I would say entitled, but I would say he definitely had a veteran status in Boston. I mean, he had been there for longer than pretty much anybody. I think he was the only guy left from that the 2018 Red Sox World Series team. Mm-hmm. That was the team with Mookie Betts and Xander Bogaerts
and Ian Kinsler.
Yes, and Ian Kinsler. Yeah. And Chris Sale might have been on that team actually. He's not a Red Sox anymore. Never mind. But yeah, Red Sox don't really have anybody left from that team anymore. So I know Red Sox fans are kind of feeling a little deflated by it.
Yeah, I did see some Red Sox fans comparing it to the Luka trade.
Yeah, I was hearing that too. Yeah.
Which I see that. Just like it seems like an emotionally fueled trade for sure, and not a statistically logistical one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and the main argument that I feel like that Devers is mad about is like the playing time and the position placement for him. Like in the offseason when the Red Sox signed Alex Bregman, third baseman, rumors that Bregman moves to second, Devers stays at third, but I feel like it was always going to be Bregman's taking third, because let's be real, Devers is not that good of a third baseman. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't blame the Red Sox for wanting to get a better defensive third baseman, and because like let me set the tone for you here, paint the picture for you here. Devers has been probably the worst defensive third baseman and arguably defensive player in the American League for his whole career. He's led the American League in errors on 4 separate occasions. So I can't blame the Red Sox for being like, hey, third base, maybe not your thing. Throwing the ball a little weird. Ball's coming out the glove, going through the legs. But you hit the ball real well. So what if you just mostly caught the ball at first base, or if you just mostly hit the ball? But they didn't. I feel they didn't actually ask him those questions thoroughly.
Yeah.
They were just like, you know what? Bregman's a free agent. Devers is getting a little older, and he's not getting better defensively. Let's just sign him, and then hopefully he's cool with moving to first or being DH.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I can see why he feels blindsided. So like, the Red Sox weren't wrong, like I feel, for wanting to make that move to improve their third base situation. But I think because of the way they handled the situation factored into the way Devers behaved.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a really good point. Obviously, part of the reason why the Red Sox signed Alex Bregman is because he's not only one of the best offensive third basemen in baseball, but he's one of the best defensive third basemen in baseball. And if you're going to be paying him all that money, I think it was $120 million for 3 or 4 years. You're gonna want him to be playing his primary position. Yeah, it's pretty good money.
He cheated.
Yeah.
Basketball.
But yeah, he's. I mean, I'm sure the Red Sox were planning on having Alex Bregman as their third baseman. There were like some rumors or fan theories about Bregman going to short or second base, but I'm not sure how much the Red Sox really considered that. I feel like it was kind of a natural thing to put Bregman at third and move Devers to first. Mm-hmm. There have been plenty of third basemen who weren't great fielders at third who have moved to first. I mean, Miguel Cabrera was one of the best first basemen. Albert Pujols was playing third early in his career. But yeah,
it's short.
He played short. Yeah, he played outfield.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah. Back when he wasn't running like he had to poop.
Yeah. But I feel like, I think the Red Sox didn't really communicate with Devers their plan to move him to first, because even during the spring training, Devers was asked by media, "What's your opinion about, or like, would you be open to moving to first?" And he scoffed at it. He laughed at them at the idea of him moving to first. So, and that was after the Bregman signing. So
and I think that answer definitely factors into the like David Ortiz and Alex Rodriguez saying like his ego.
Yeah.
Like dude, you're making hundreds of millions of dollars. Just move to the other corner, man.
Yeah.
Like I understand that like you feel like you're top dog in the organization and that like that choice should be yours.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that organization that's giving you that much money, so they should have a little bit of say on what you do with your playing time.
Yeah, 100%.
And especially if in, like, let's be real, it's a less demanding position than third base by a lot.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason they call it the hot corner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because it's a longer run from the dugout. Maybe Devers doesn't want to do the run to first. Maybe he just wants to hang out at third, just jog out there, take a couple steps, He's like, it's kind of far for me. I already run down the line when I'm hitting.
That's so funny.
He's like, it's kind of far.
So I think we're on the same page about why the trade happened, but the Giants, oh my God, they are geniuses.
Yeah.
300 IQ for sure. I mean, like good on and props to Buster Posey as their new head guy. He saw that relations were shaky, and he made a move to get a bat that he knew they needed.
Yeah. Good on him. I think it's a great move. Obviously, there were a couple like prospects in the draft that, I mean, we're not going to be able to know how it pans out for them for a couple years. So, but I mean,
I'd rather bank on Devers.
Yeah. It's I mean, the Giants are getting a big upgrade right now, and the Red Sox are banking on their future. So, It's just I'm not sure if the Red Sox are selling or not. If they're going to be trading more guys, that's a different conversation. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was kind of a out of nowhere trade. I think it was. I mean, people were aware of the issues between Devers and management, but it's not like he was on the trade block or anything, or there were rumors about people
yeah. It definitely factors it into like it feeling more of an emotional trade than a logistical one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how it plays out. And his first game as a Giant, he went 2 for 5.
Yeah. He hit that double to Triple's alley.
Yep. Yeah. Double into Triple Valley. Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely he could have made that a triple, but he dropped. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
He's warming up first game.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he'll definitely help them make a playoff run, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially since he feels more confident. I feel like he feels more confident playing there than he does for Boston.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's another side of the drama and issues that he's having with management. Is it kind of like brings your energy down a bit. It makes you like the difference between playing for a team that you're fighting with and playing for a team that wants you and wants to like cooperate with you and is going to let you do the things you want to do. Like it's night and day. It's a total it's a very big tonal shift, and I feel like I mean, he's been playing great already, so like I imagine he's going to keep it up.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from Rafael Devers, as we gave him a lot of screen time.
Yeah, we didn't even talk much about the pitchers.
So, moving on. Tigers versus Pirates. So, we had the Tigers going 2-1 in the series versus the Pirates, with the Pirates taking the game that Paul Skeens was pitching, which is the last game of the series, which is starting later on today. So we will discuss the results of that game in Sunday's episode as well. So we'll be discussing game 1 of this series, and then game 2 was delayed, I believe, due to rain, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So due to that, the Tigers and the Pirates are playing a doubleheader today, and the results of the first game came in. So we will be discussing the results of game 1, and then the adjusted game 1 of the doubleheader that happened today, and then game 2 of the doubleheader on Sunday. So yeah, starting off game 1, 7-3 Tigers. We were right about that one. Oh, sorry, my bad. Not Skeens. Mr. Mize throwing in game 1. Casey Mize going 6 innings on 5 hits and 2 earned runs and 4 strikeouts, with Mize holding it down for the Tigers, with the offense supplying enough to give them another dub. The Tigers bullpen also holding it down, giving up 0 runs. Not a zip to go with Mize's outing. How would you pronounce this? Carmen Mladinsky?
I think so. Yeah. I think that, yeah. I think that's how you say it.
Mladinsky.
Okay.
Mladinsky. So Carmen Mladinsky got the L for Pittsburgh, despite not being the starting pitcher for Pittsburgh, as Carmen gave up the go-ahead 4 runs that Detroit got in the 6th and 7th innings, as Wenceel Perez tripled, and Riley Green to make it 4-3 in the 6th inning, and then Javier Baez hit his 2nd homer of the game as well, following his 5th inning game-tying home run to make it 5-3 in the 7th inning. And then Riley Green extended it to 7-3 with a 2-run homer of his own later that inning as well. So yeah, I just want to highlight Javier Baez finally back in form a little bit. Holy crap, we have been missing that guy. He was such an electric player in his prime, but he like the last couple of years, he's been a totally different player.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see him getting back into form and playing like we know he can play. I mean, some of those Cubs years were some really great seasons, and he's always a really fun player to watch. Mm-hmm. He's really flashy, and I think he led the National League in RBIs in either 2018 or I think it was 2018. Mm-hmm. And then signing with the Mets and there was a lot of hype around that. I thought he was going to do great for them. I thought he was going to make a big difference, and he just wasn't the same player as he was in Chicago. Not totally sure what it was. Maybe he just likes playing in the Central more. The NL Central and AL Central now. He's been great for the Tigers. He's been a really big impact player for them. Great contact, and he also has homer power still. And he's been playing center field for them.
Yeah, at least this year.
Yeah.
I did want to point out his last couple seasons, as he was in Detroit in 2023 and 2024, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so, in those seasons, he had a combined negative 0.3 WAR.
Wow.
Negative WAR combined in the season. So, and this year he's already at 1.9 WAR. So he's drastically improved from the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And for reference, like during 2018 and 2019, when he was on the Cubs during his prime, he put up back-to-back seasons of 6.7 WAR.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, technically, one of the seasons hit 6.8, but it sounds better if it's back to 6.7. I just didn't want to, Anyway, he basically had the same season twice. An incredible year. And in 2018, he placed second in MVP voting as well. So I'm just happy that he's improving on an offensive front in terms of his hitting. And also, he's improved upon his defense as well, as he led the league in errors in 2023. And this year, he's only had 3 errors, and he's on pace for 8. So, much better defensive performance this year as well from the former MLB The Show cover athlete.
Yeah, that was a great cover too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a totally different season for him. He's been, I'm not sure what adjustment he made in the off season, but it seems like a switch flipped, and the Tigers have been very happy with his success.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, now getting into the double header. Tigers won again. Are we surprised? Are you surprised, CJ?
No.
Yeah, they won 9-2. 9-2 against the Pirates, unfortunately. Riley Green, 4 RBIs today.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Putting a 3-run double in the second inning of the game. Gleyber Torres, 3 for 4 with 2 ribbies. McKinstry and Baez also got 2 hits, as we were just mentioning. Baez is doing his thing once again. Love it. Do you want to break down some of the pitching performances for this game?
Yeah. So Tarek Skubal was the starter. It's always a good day when Tarek Skubal's starting. You always have to expect that he's going to pitch well, and he did pitch well. He went 5.2 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, but one of those runs, I put an asterisk on it because he came out of the game in the 5th, he came out of the game in the 6th, and the reliever that came in ended up allowing the run to score that was already on base when Skubal came out of the game. Yeah. So Skubal was credited with that earned run there, but I mean, still a great outing for him. Great outing every day that he pitches. He's been one of the most consistent pitchers in baseball. His ERA is just barely above 2 now. And the Tigers bullpen also has been great this season. And they were able to, aside from the 1 run that Skubal allowed, the bullpen has been incredible.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, and that definitely plays into why they're in first place. I mean, if you're starting pitching and your bullpen is holding it together, along with having a top 10 offense in the league, that's gonna, how are you not gonna have success?
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of on the speaking of the top 10 offense, I think the Tigers, 2025 Tigers could maybe be compared to those early 2010s Giants that we were talking about in a way. I feel like they don't really have the big star on their team. They don't have a Aaron Judge or a Jose Ramirez on their team necessarily.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of guys that are playing very well and consistently well. Riley Green, has 15 homers on the year. He's hitting almost 280. despite having the most strikeouts in baseball as a hitter,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting.
Like he only gets out via strikeout, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And if he doesn't, then he's getting an extra base hit. Kerry Carpenter is doing well for them. Obviously, we talked about Javier Baez. Gleyber Torres is doing great too. He was the 3-4 in this game. And yeah, the offense is just able to give the run support to the great pitching staff in order to get the wins.
Yeah, man. I totally agree. So yeah, man, moving on, we had the Mets sweeping the Braves. Well, at least actually you did. You had the Mets sweeping the Braves. I had the Mets beating the Braves 2-1 in the series. And we were both wrong. Entirely. Both wrong. As in the Braves are 2-0 in the series so far. What happened, CJ, in game 1? What happened?
Yeah, we're both wrong. I'm very wrong. But the first game was a good pitching matchup. It was good names on the mound, guys who have been playing well this season and played well in this game. David Peterson, Spencer Schwellenbach. David Peterson went 7 innings. He actually pitched into the 8th, but he got taken out before recording it out. He was credited with 3 runs. Spencer Schwellenbach, on the other hand, 7 innings pitched, gave up 4 runs. So they combined for 14 innings pitched as the starting pitchers. Both went deep into the game. And it was a rough day for the Mets, and it was a rough day for David Peterson because he pitched great. He had a great outing. He actually had 1 run allowed through 7 innings.
Yeah.
And then he came out for the 8th inning. He walked a batter and he gave up a single. And then the Mets took him out, brought in Reed Garrett.
Yep.
And he didn't get it done. There was a single that scored 2 runs that were both credited, a single scored 1 run that was credited to David Peterson. So that brought him up to 2 earned runs. And then Marcell Ozuna with a double later on, scoring 2 runs, 1 credited to Reed Garrett, 1 credited to David Peterson. So that's 3 runs for David Peterson, despite not being in the game for those 2 runs. And yeah, that would end up tying the game. And from there, baseball happened to the Mets in a bad way. They went into the extra innings. Nobody scored. The Mets couldn't score in the top of the 10th. So the Braves came in to the bottom of the 9th. Extra inning rule, obviously. Runner on second base starts. And the first batter, there was a wild pitch thrown.
Yeah.
So that puts the batter on third with no outs immediately. Yeah. And all it took was a fly out to center field to bring in the run. And Austin Riley fly out to center, sac fly. And that was enough for the Braves to win the game.
Yeah, man. Crazy. You know, the Braves have 5 walk-off wins this year so far, which is tied for the second most in MLB, despite them being 10 games behind second place at a 33-39 record.
Wow.
So they are winning in stressful situations.
Yeah, very stressful situations.
Yeah.
And this.
Sorry, you go.
Oh no, this is an important series for the Braves to win because obviously a division rival. Not only that, but the Mets have been in first place. So if the Braves are going to have any semblance of turning it around and making a chance at the wild card this year, then now is a good time for them to pick it up.
And and definitely to take a few games off the Mets is always going to be fun.
Yeah.
And Juan Soto homered this game along with Tyrone Taylor homering as well. And they were holding it down until the Braves had that comeback inning off of Garrett.
Yeah, it was a good start to the game. I mean, it was a great game all around. Just really frustrating circumstance for David Peterson especially.
Yeah. And game 2 had an even stronger Braves performance as they shut the Mets out. 5-zip. Chris Hale just 1 out from a complete game shutout. He got pulled at 116 pitches, so you can't blame the Braves there. He only gave up 5 hits, 1 walk, and got 7 Ks. Pretty awesome. Improves to a 5-4 record, which is pretty good considering the Braves' offense this year. So, and he has a 2.54 ERA as of right now after this game and a 1.16 whip. So he continues to fight off the argument that you get worse with age, as he continues to dominate at an elite level despite being in his age 36 season.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well said. I Uh, I did predict the Mets to sweep the series. I forgot about the simple fact that Chris Sale is and has been one of the best pitchers in baseball for the last 10 years.
Hmm.
So anytime that he's pitching, the Braves have a really good chance to win the game. A great outing from him. You could tell he definitely wanted to finish this game. He had a play in the ninth inning. Um, to start the ninth, it was first out of the inning. Juan Soto was up, and he had a chopper to the left of Chris Sale. It looked like it was going to go past him, and Chris Sale, all 6'7", 6'8" of him, goes full extension dive to
Hmm.
stop the ball from passing him and throws out Juan Soto from his knees to start the ninth inning.
And
Like
just locked
he
on.
he wanted to finish this himself.
Yeah.
He was, and I mean, I can't blame him because there are not many pitchers better than Chris Sale right now. Um, in the big game, Chris Sale is one of the guys. He's probably top three guy that you want in there,
Hmm.
pitching for you, and he's just been great for the Braves. Um, all his numbers are great. One of the best ERAs in baseball. He has like an 11.5 K per nine this year. I mean, he's still just one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, for sure. And Acuna and Olsen homer in the game as well. Acuna continues to stay hot for the Braves in 82 at bats so far this year. He's batting 390, 8 homers, 14 RBIs, 1.215 OPS. Video game
Yeah,
Braves, to say the least. Needs to stay hot off of his return off of the IL. Um, and I want to bring up the trade deadline in the Braves because clearly
mm,
Braves are not where they want to be right now, and obviously this is an off year. Who knows? Like, obviously, player performance isn't there, but who knows, like, what the true reason for all of it is. But I was thinking the Braves could possibly make a trade and just try and restart this whole thing a little bit, considering just that everything isn't working right now. Obviously some of their big name guys are heating up again right now a little bit, and during their most successful years, in terms of like playoff appearance and record at the end of the year, they have started off those years pretty bad as well. So like it's not out of character for them to start off kind of slow and then heat up as the year goes on. But in order for that to work, the other teams have to slow down, as like at the same time in order for them to be able to catch up at all. And I don't necessarily see that happening outside of some big injuries on some other big competitive teams causing that to happen. Just I think the Braves are too out of it for for something like that to happen without them having to sort of make any sort of big move to have a chance of competing later on.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what the Braves decide to do by the time the trade deadline gets here. Um, Obviously, it's they have a big uphill battle if they're going to be competing this year. The Mets have been one of the best teams in baseball, and the Phillies are getting hot again too. Phillies are another team with one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. Um, so yeah, it's a competitive division. The Braves, I feel like we kind of touched on this a couple episodes briefly, but um, the Braves have not really, aside from the Chris Sale move, I feel like they haven't been making many changes to their team,
Hmm.
or the main squad they have
Yeah.
since like that 2021 2022 run.
Hmm.
Um, and it seems like they've just been relying on those big names that they collected a while ago to continue doing well. Like
Hmm.
Marcelo Azuna, Austin Riley. They expect Matt Olson to be like game changers for them.
Harris.
And what was that? Who?
Michael Harris.
Yeah, yeah, Michael Harris, exactly. Um, so yeah, they might have to um, change some things up if they're gonna be competing in future years.
Yeah. definitely. So back to the specific game in question. So to focus on more of the Braves highlighting, they went against Mets starting pitcher Paul Blackburn in this game. He has struggled in his last three starts. I want to note really quick. He's failed to go more than 3 innings pitched in his last three starts, giving up at least 3 hits and runs and 3 strikeouts or less during those 3 starts. So he needs to figure that out because if he continues to pitch like that, I mean, the Mets have a lot of good starting pitching right now. It's a very competitive roster, so I don't feel as if he'll stay long if he continues to be pitching like that. Like those are more Angels numbers. No disrespect, although not against the Yankees. They have won 3 games in a row against the Yankees right now. So
Yeah.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm a real fan. I'm a real fan. I recognize how crappy we can be, but I am happy for our success.
Yeah. Yeah. When we get it, when the success comes.
But yeah,
um,
yeah, Mets. Yeah, Blackburn didn't really do it for him.
yeah. Yeah. No, he has struggled a bit this year. The Braves finding a way to score early, which is big for them. We've talked about how important run support is for pitching, especially for the Braves.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, and especially when you have Chris Sale on the mound, getting early runs is even better because you know that he's going to be in the game for a while.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, Paul Blackburn, uh, he was a solid pitcher for the A's. He was one of their better pitchers, but again, it was the A's rotation, so we're comparing him to some of those guys. Um, and I was excited when he first came over to New York as a Met. I thought he was going to be a good addition for them,
mhm,
but he hasn't really been um, up to the standards, it seems, or the expectations that the Mets have for their pitchers. I mean, obviously, some of the best pitching in all the baseball the Mets have. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if by the time we get to the playoffs, if Paul Blackburn's still on the team, if he hasn't been traded or anything, I wouldn't be surprised if he moves to a bullpen role or coming in later in games or being used a little less frequently.
mhm.
So, um, yeah, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, especially when um, you get to the more important games. So it's going to be interesting to see what both these teams do with their rosters.
Yeah. Especially since the Mets are like literally a World Series contending team. I feel
Yeah,
like anyone is up for grabs.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So yeah, that about wraps up that. Uh, Game 3 of this series is happening later today as well with Holmes versus Strider. I predicted that this was going to be the one game that the Braves won, although they've already won 2. So I hope they do win this one, as I
yeah,
would like to be right about something today. Although we were right about the Tigers, although I wouldn't necessarily call us geniuses for saying the Tigers are going to beat the Pirates either.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah,
But yeah, very briefly, me and CJ just want to highlight the upcoming series, the Tigers versus the Rays, as this is a very big series for Tampa Bay, as they are only 1 game out of first place under the Yankees as of today. So Tampa Bay really needs this series versus Detroit a lot more than Detroit does per se, as Detroit, is way more comfortably in first place in their division. But that's obviously not going to deter Detroit from trying any harder, you know?
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Um, Yeah, the Rays have been hot lately. This is an important series for them, especially with the Yankees struggling lately,
Mhm.
especially against the Angels. Um, and yeah,
Sure,
the AL East is
sure.
a super competitive division, partially because of the Yankees' recent struggles. So yeah, I expect the Rays to want to capitalize on this, and I think they can. It's going to be some good pitching matchups. We're going to get Jack Flaherty and Shane Baz.
Mhm.
Casey Mize is going to be facing Zach Littell, who's been playing well for the Rays. So, yeah, it's going to be a great series. The Rays have had some great young players performing for them. Jonathan Aranda he was my All-Star vote for first base. Junior Caminero has been playing great. He's got, I think, 17 home runs right now. So yeah, the Rays have been hot lately, and it's because a lot of their young, successful guys. The pitching has been great too. They're not going to have Drew Rasmussen in this series. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. However, he's not their only good starter. The Rays do have a good underrated rotation, and I think it's because there's not a lot of big name guys on that team. You know, they got rid of they don't have the Blake Snell and the Tyler Glass now anymore, but their guys are performing. So yeah,
they actually have sorry.
No, you're good.
To go off your point about how good their pitching was, I was gonna say they actually have a better team ERA than the Yankees do.
Wow.
Yeah, the Rays have a 3.49 team ERA, and the Yankees have a 3.52.
Wow.
Also, the Rays and Yankees are tied in team batting average at 253.
Oh, interesting. Wow, that's with Aaron Judge hitting 365, so he definitely brings it up for them.
Yeah, although I mean the Yankees obviously lead in home runs. We're not gonna.
Yeah, no surprise there.
That, but clearly it hasn't mattered much as they're playing about the same.
Yeah.
And I mean the Yankees offense. I mean, just like in terms of like tacking on runs. I mean, they obviously have those bigger name guys with bigger bats to do it, but it seems like the Rays are just still finding, you know, like in their own play style, you know, like just figuring it out and navigating their way through the division still.
Yeah, totally.
That's always been their way. Like they've always been that underrated team that just functions well as an organization and still manages to like be in contention.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this happens a lot. You know, the Yankees have the big name guys. They have Aaron Judge, Paul Goldschmidt leading their team, you know, Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon pitching for them. And the Rays don't really have that big name guy. I mean, Brandon Lau is probably their most popular player, and he's not exactly a very well-known player, you know. It's a smaller market, but yeah, the Rays are still finding a way to contribute. Everybody in the lineup is hitting for them, and yeah, they've been winning a lot of games.
Yeah, you know, while you were saying that, I kind of thought of a little joke that kind of represents how they are as a team. You know, they play like an actual Ray. They're always like right under the surface of everyone.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. You should send that to the Rays. Maybe they'll give you some credit for that.
Yeah, although I mean, I don't know how much you want to like embrace being an underdog. You know, like you don't want to always be proud that people are counting you out constantly.
Yeah, you don't want people to expect you to do poorly, but it does kind of make it feel a little better when you do well, when you know people don't expect it from you.
Yeah. And so yeah, and just to like we were saying about the AL East, I mean the division in general has just gotten so close. When we were talking about the NL West, and I believe it was our first or second episode of the podcast, we were saying how that at the time was like the only division that seemed like in contention within itself, like with multiple teams being close to first place competing for it. But now that has also shifted into the AL East as well. I mean, New York is still in first place, but they're on a 6-game losing streak. Tampa Bay is only 1.5 games out. Correction, I said it was 1 game here. 1.5. Sorry, 1.5.
Big difference. Difference.
And then Toronto is only 2 games out. Toronto's been holding it down too. So that division is just coming close. And since Boston just got rid of arguably their biggest bat, who knows where they're gonna go, especially with how the team is going to feel about the move, if that's going to affect morale and momentum. And on top of that, the Blue Jays are facing the White Sox in their next series. So it's a 3-game series. So I predict them getting at least 2 wins. And what's crazy is if they get 2 wins, if they happen to sweep 3 wins and the Yankees continue losing, Blue Jays are in first place. That's like it's that close.
Yeah.
One series, and it changes completely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's exciting. The AL East is a super exciting competitive division this year. I think the Yankees were a heavy favorite, almost an obvious first choice to win the division, as they are most years. But I mean, with the additions of like Max Fried and Paul Goldschmidt, like they are still getting better. Um, but they haven't been playing well lately, and the Rays and the Blue Jays are capitalizing on it by playing a lot better. Um, and we might have a new first place team by our next episode.
Yeah,
Like
man.
it's really exciting stuff. It's pretty cool. Especially with the Dodgers kind of pulling away from the Giants and Padres a bit. It seems like the AL East is another division that we're gonna have to keep a close eye on.
Yeah, for sure. And we will definitely talk more about it next episode, as well as we want to make some predictions for that division. So, first one here that we want to make, as I mentioned before, the Tigers and the Rays are going to be going at it in the next series. So, how do you think that series is going to turn out? The Tigers did recently just use Mize and Scooble in their series against Pittsburgh, so they're most likely not going to have them, if at best only one of them. So,
Hmm.
how do you feel that series is going to turn out?
Um, so I think it's going to be a great series. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. According to their schedule, they do have Casey Mize scheduled for the last game of the season,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
but Scooble won't be a part of the series, as you mentioned. So um, the Tigers are going to have Jack Flaherty, uh, Gibson Long. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry, and
Dude,
Casey
these
Mize.
names, man, I'm telling you.
That's just the last name, by the way. Gibson Dash Long. I don't know his first name.
Oh, damn.
So
Oh my goodness.
Tigers got those three going, and the Rays have Shane Baz, Ryan Pepio, and Zach Littell, who have all been performing well. Um, so I'm expecting a good series. Um, I think the Tigers are going to be able to provide a little more pressure on the pitching than the Rays will. So I'm going to say the
Their
Tigers
offense
are
is
going to.
hot right now too.
Yeah, the offense is great. And because of that, I think I'm going to go with the Tigers going 2-1 on the series.
All right, yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I think the Rays are going to win the middle game with
Hmm.
Pepio starting.
Hmm. You know, on second thought, I'm actually going to go 2-1 Rays. I think the Rays are going to
Ooh,
do it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah. On second thought,
interesting.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go the opposite. 2-1 Rays for me personally.
Okay, okay. I
Yeah.
like it. I feel like it's honestly, I think the first game might decide it, might
Hmm.
decide the series because Jack Flaherty is very streaky this year. Um,
Yeah.
we've talked about him not really being the pitcher that the Tigers need him to be. He has had a couple great starts, but he's had a couple bad starts too. So, um, not sure what to expect from him. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun series.
For sure. And then the other series that we're going to be talking about here and making a prediction for is the Yankees, as they're playing their last game versus the Angels today. So we'll see if the win streak or loss streak continues. But their next series is going to be versus Baltimore, who is a division rival, of course. While Baltimore is still in last place at 11 games out, if the Orioles can, like I said, if the Orioles can take two and Toronto can take two, or Tampa Bay can take two, they're no longer in first place. The Yankees,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So it's a really big series in terms of momentum for the Yankees, and Tampa Bay and Toronto as well.
yeah, absolutely.
So how do you think the Yankees and Orioles series is going to turn out given everything?
Um, I think despite the Yankees struggling thus far this last week, I
Yeah.
do still think that they're gonna um, come back and perform against the Orioles in this series. I mean, the Yankees have the pitching advantage, I would say. Max Fried, obviously one of the best pitchers in the American League.
Mhm.
He's going to be going up against Sagano, who has been good for the Orioles, but As I talked about in a previous episode, he's more so doing well because he's kind of getting lucky rather than being a dominant pitcher.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and
not like super lucky, but
yeah,
more than it appears.
yeah, he's definitely been relying more on his defense than some other guys.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna go with the Yankees. I think they're gonna sweep it.
I was
think they're gonna
thinking
come
the
back.
same thing, actually.
Yeah,
Because
really?
I feel
Yeah,
like the Yankees historically just destroy the Orioles.
yeah. I think that's pretty accurate, especially.
I don't have concrete numbers on that, but just
Mhm.
based off vibes.
It's yeah, it's the vibes thing. Yeah,
I don't care about the L streak. I just feel like something clicks when the Yankees play against Baltimore.
yeah, 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 totally. Um, Little update: the Yankees did win today against the Angels, 7-3.
So it
So,
snaps. All right.
so, yeah, maybe that's
Hey, we
maybe
took the
that's
series 3-1. I don't care.
true.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll take it.
So they'll probably take that momentum into
Into the Orioles series. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
although
Believe
they're playing at Yankee Stadium though.
and you. Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, that about wraps up our episode here today. So next episode, we will be talking about our predictions that we made for this episode in regards to the Tigers and Rays series, the Yankees and Orioles series, and also going over the results of the games that are currently in progress today that we weren't able to discuss. And next episode, coming out on Saturday, we will be discussing the new Spider-Man movie coming out hopefully next year, Spider-Man Brand New Day. We'll be discussing the characters who are rumored to be in it, who we want to be in it, how we feel about some of the potential plot lines. So yeah, it's just going to be about that movie and how we feel about the stuff going on in it and what we want to be in it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's going to be our plans for the next few episodes. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any suggestions for topics, let us know. We are open to anything. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you on the next one.